Howdy, I'm Del Deterling. I'm a 1959 graduate of Texas A&M with degrees in agricultural economics and agricultural journalism. After I graduated, I spent 3 years in the Air Force and then spent 3.5 years with the Texas Agricultural Extension Service as an information specialist. And then 36 years, a little over 36 years with Progressive Farmer magazine as an editor. I retired in 2002 and I continue to serve Progressive Farmer and other publications on a freelance basis. Well, actually I didn't start in agricultural economics. Like a lot of students, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I started in agricultural engineering, and it didn't take me too long to find out I didn't have the smarts or the math background to be an engineer. And about 2 weeks into the second semester, after being totally befuddled by analytical geometry and calculus and engineering drawing, I marched into Dr. Dean Potts' office and said he could either get me into some courses that suited me better or watch me flunk out. And I had knew several people who majored in agricultural economics, and that appealed to me. So he enrolled me in some agricultural courses, and of course that was the turning point in my career. Well, actually, there are so many that I've really been blessed serving as an editor with Progressive Farmer magazine. I was president of the American Agricultural Editors Association, which is the association that represents all of the farm magazines in the country, which is probably over 150. And twice I was named Agricultural Writer of the Year, along with several other editors in our staff. And then I was named Distinguished Alumnus of the College of Agriculture at Texas A&M. And of course then finally also I was named to the Timm Honor Registry. So I feel like I have really been blessed in my career. Well, I was in the Corps of Cadets, and that certainly helped me in my leadership and in helping to take direction as well as to take command. And in my coursework, particularly in agricultural economics, I received a good background in all the phases of agriculture plus business. And then I also, as I mentioned, received a second degree in agricultural journalism. So I received a good background in that field. And so all of those together, I think, really have served me well in my career. Well, certainly that was quite an honor for me. And as I look at that list of people who have been named to that registry, why I'm always overwhelmed to be part of that group, because there are so many people who are on that list that are doing great things and have done great things, and some are quite notable in politics and in banking and in various fields. And so I am both humbled and greatly honored to be a part of that list. Dr. Timm, he was I've always enjoyed him. He welcomed me with open arms when I when Dr. Potts introduced me to agricultural economics. Dr. Timm grew up in Hallettsville, and I grew up in Schulenburg, and those two towns were just next to each other, and they were great football rivals. So every Monday morning, Dr. Timm would always catch me and give me a hard time, regardless of which team won, and we always had a great time about that. Dr. Timm was just very open and friendly. He knew the names of all of his students and knew their backgrounds, and he took care of them both while they were part of while they were students and also as graduates. He tried to help them find jobs that suited them. In my case, when I was in the Air Force, and I was getting ready to get out, he wrote letters to a number of different potential employers, and including the Texas Agricultural Extension Service, where I ended up my first job. One of the funny things was that after some years after I graduated, at a meeting, someone tried to introduce me to Dr. Timm, and Dr. Timm just said, "Oh shucks, I know old Deterling." He said, "Why, when he came to A&M, why, he had a sausage in each pocket." And, so he was not only a great teacher, but he was a great mentor, and he was also a good friend. Well, that is always a challenge, and of course, for those who know what they want to do, you know, if they want to be a veterinarian, or if they want to be an agronomist, or work in animal science, I certainly encourage them to study those fields. If they're not sure, I think they can do no worse than to major in agricultural economics, because they would have an opportunity to background themselves in both agriculture and business, and then even regardless of what field they later go into, they will have a good background, and even if they want to go into law later or become a doctor or whatever, why, they will have a good background. I think certainly you need to work hard. You need to work hard to learn whatever job you're going to take and to master that job. But at the same time, I think it's very important that you develop your people skills, that you do a lot of networking, and that as the opportunity presents itself, that you become a part of organizations and meet a lot of people. And it always amazes me how people that you meet at one level, a number of years later, why you meet them again at another level. You know, they may be a sales representative or field representative for a farm organization or a chemical company when you first meet them, and a number of years down the road, why they may be a state senator or a congressman or an assistant to the Secretary of Agriculture. So work hard, master your job, but do a lot of schmoozing too. So. Well, success certainly is not all money. I think success is doing something that is worthwhile, that contributes to society, and it's also doing something that you feel good about, where you enjoy going to work every day and feel like you're accomplishing something. and that you're contributing to your family, you're contributing to the field that you're working in, and you're contributing to the agriculture or whatever field that you're in, and you know, you're doing something that's worthwhile.